Hi, I'm Rose Jordan with Visit Mineral Wells, and our next stop on the virtual getaway is the flower shop at 76067. We're here with shop owner Lexis and Calla the flower shop dog, who has her own Instagram account, by the way. So today, Lexis is going to show us how to make a spring flower arrangement. So Lexi, tell us what we're going to make.
So today we're just going to be making a pretty simple spring arrangement, something that you can come by and grab. You can come get the flowers and make something like this at home, or you can send it out to someone. But we're just gonna go kind of spring colors, spring flowers, things that are in season right now, that are easy to work with. The first thing we're gonna do is, this is our containers today. I put wet foam in them already, so it's called Oasis, and you can get it at Walmart or any craft store pretty much. And you stick it in the container, just kind of like up as tight as you can get it. You just don't want it to be like coming out. And then you just drizzle water on top and it soaks it all through, and then just keep water on it after you get the arrangement, because the flowers will like soak the water up. So just like any arrangement, you're gonna just have to add water to it. But it's very easy to travel. It's easy to make stuff with it, because once you stick a stem in, it doesn't really move around like it would in a glass vase or a vase full of water. So the first thing that we do on most of our arrangements is start with what we call greening it. So just putting the leaves and the flowers last, but the leaves, all the different types of greenery first. So the first one that we're going to use is called leather leaf, and it's this one. And so we just use your clippers, and we're gonna, so some of the pieces you're not going to be able to use, but some of them you can. So you just kind of have to look at each piece and see where you want to cut it so that you can maximize the usage out of that one stem.
So Lexi, you said we're going to trim it, but so how
So we're going to be going probably like, you usually go 1.5 to 2 times the size of your vase. So like up here, yeah.
And this is going to be the height?
It's actually
this is
gonna
what
be
gives us the height.
This is going to give us the height.
Okay.
The Forsynthia.
Okay.
So this will be kind of just like in here. So we're going to cut it shorter than
maybe that section.
Yeah, right there. And then you'll want to cut. So you'll want to cut like down here, so then we can use these. So what I was telling her is we need, whenever we cut, if you cut right there, then I can still use this piece, and I still have a stem on this piece. Okay. So you cut right at that little V. Okay. So we'll just stick these in and really just like kind of wild all the different directions. It's going to be a 2-sided arrangement, so you don't want...
So not too far back.
Correct. You're going to want it kind of back and front.
So did you use from the same stem?
Yes. So from that stem,
get one of the big pieces.
Cut one of the smaller little legs off.
Okay.
And then mainly, I mean, we're just going to keep doing this. Mine's broken right here, so I'm just going to take this part off because this one was broken. But just everywhere, kind of all different directions. Turn one.
Oh, that's right, because it's 2-sided.
Turn this, yeah. Okay. Just kind of, and then just keep going with the other ones. We're going to need just kind of a nice general, we just use this mainly to not see the foam and just to give it a base for the flowers to sit in. And nothing has to be perfect. We're just kind of like shoving them in all the different directions. And I am going to use probably like 2.5 to 3 pieces, just so you can have kind of an idea. And this is fine with like whatever greenery you have. Just kind of start off with like a base. Give it a little
But you want to keep these, right?
Yeah, you'll keep those, and then so like you can use this if you just cut this off and just stick it. I mean, you can use those in there as well. So just kind of like a, looks like someone had a bad hair day.
Okay.
That's how I always explain it.
So how do you know when you have enough?
When it feels like you have enough.
All right.
Like, you should be able to, you can see the foam, but you can't, it's not extremely obvious.
Okay.
Not swim. Is that a better answer?
Sure. You can just say, stop. You're good.
So, like a little bit more.
Okay, like right down
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm. Right where there's like big, giant chunks of foam.
So, yep.
Yep, looking good. Okay, so now we are going to, now that we've got the leather in, we're going to use eucalyptus.
Okay.
And yes, this is what koalas eat. We're going to cut it and just kind of do the same thing, just sporadically through here, just to give it a different color of greenery, some different dimension.
So are we going for
shape.
symmetrical or kind of like organic and messy?
Organic.
Okay.
And I would say 5-6 pieces of this. Just again, the same thing. You can use the little branches if you have some on your piece. It is going to be a little different. You don't really use the bottom parts of these because the top is just like a stick. So we just use pretty much the top little pieces of it. And just kind of fill in the little holes. Turn it around so they can see it, and you can do the back. Perfect. Okay.
Yes or more?
Yeah, like it. Okay, so now that we have the greenery in, we are going to start putting flowers in. We usually start with like the taller flowers and then and lilies. Those are something, since they have a bunch of branches kind of going on, that we have to put in at the beginning. Those and tall flowers, and then we go kind of like biggest flower to kind of smaller.
Okay.
So we are gonna put the lilies in first. We each have one, and it's just gonna kind of go right in the middle so that it goes all the directions.
Okay.
Pretty
So
short, pretty short. And make sure you're cutting everything at an angle.
So like right about here?
Yeah. And then we're just putting it straight pretty much in the middle.
Okay.
Pretty far down. Yep. And it's just gonna kind of do its own little thing. And then, like I told her to cut at an angle, it helps the surface area of the flower. It helps it drink more water if you cut at an angle because the surface area is bigger. We're actually going with Forsynthia next. Yep. This is the next thing we're gonna use, and it's called Forsynthia. And we're actually probably gonna be sharing this one. Just using all these little branches.
Okay.
Cutting these off. And I mean like 3 or 4 each. There you go.
Okay.
Kind of a little woodsy. I'll cut a few off of this one too. They can be kind of like 2 little things going on.
Okay.
Like this top one's kind of cool, so you might cut right here.
Okay.
And use those 2 together. So these are just gonna kind of go, again, just very natural looking, kind of sporadic through there. Some sticking pretty much straight out.
Okay.
Some straight up, some at an angle. Again, just like 5 or 6 stems. Here's a nice one that's kind of fun and branchy. Yeah, make sure we're turning it just to get all the different sides. Paying attention to. Perfect.
Is that too funky?
No,
there?
it looks
Okay.
no, it looks great.
Okay.
Okay, so now that we have those in, we're gonna go with the next kind of tallest flower, which is gonna be a Snapdragon. I think there's 3 for each of us.
Okay.
And these are going to be our height, pretty much, along with like where these are. We're gonna kind of just go. We have 3, so you want to kind of make a triangle. So I'm probably gonna go here, down here, and then like back here a little. And make sure we're cutting at an angle.
Is this too far out?
Yes, a little too far.
Okay.
I would just cut it a little bit off of it. I'm cutting, I mean, like mine pretty short. If it's in water, it's a little different, because it has to go all the way down in there. But in foam, we just need to go like at least an inch into the foam, so you can cut things a little shorter. You always start with your tallest ones.
Let's make a tall one.
Just so that, if you cut it too short or something, then we can always make that one shorter and then use the next one as your tallest one. So we always do the tall ones at the beginning, just in case.
There?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
And then just one kind of go in a different way.
So, how do you know? How do you know when it's like when you're there?
It's gonna look a little crazy for a while.
Okay.
I always say it looks bad until you're done.
Okay.
Like it's not gonna look great until you get all the pieces in.
So no panicking yet.
No panicking yet. Not until we're done.
All
And
right.
then we can tweak stuff at the end if we still are kind of like, what's going on? But look, like this looks crazy. And they're different crazy, but they're both crazy. Okay, so then next we're gonna use the roses.
Okay.
And I have 2. And you're just gonna go like the biggest hole that you have, pretty much. So like
right here.
yes, that's that. Yeah, I would go more a little bit back. So we are making it all the way around. Remember, so here and like down in here.
And do we want it to be down?
We want it
here?
down in. Yep.
Okay.
Not super far, but we're definitely going pretty down in there, kind of level with where the lilies are, because they're kind of your other focal flower.
So there.
Yep, perfect.
Okay.
For the roses, we're going to take a break.
Okay.
Okay. So here, or would you go like?
So this one's gonna open up. Remember
Okay.
that. So it'll be about like this one. So
Okay.
lilies do open pretty big. So we have this one and this one that will open. So I would go maybe like down in here,
Okay.
because we don't want it to open up and then cover
Get blocked,
the flower. Yeah. And make it go maybe stick out a little bit more. So like this one.
Oh, pointing out.
Yeah.
Okay.
More like angled instead of directly up. We're gonna like kind of like it's jumping out at you a little. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do is put in the pink carnations. And so these are like a little bit tight. They'll open up on their own in a few days, but I like to kind of give them a little fluff. So just barely.
And that doesn't hurt them?
It doesn't, not at all. Just barely a little tap. Yep. And then when you're cutting these, you want to make sure not to cut in the notches,
Okay.
like in the little things.
Just below it?
Yeah, just above.
Just above it?
Yes. Or way below. But we're gonna be cutting pretty high. I'm like pretty short.
So here-ish? Or-
Yeah, here-ish or above.
Okay.
And these, you're gonna wanna, again, do the taller ones first. There's not gonna be any super tall ones in this arrangement.
Okay.
We're just kinda going a little lower, but we're gonna do kind of a triangle around the arrangement.
Okay.
Because since we have 3, if we have 3s, we usually work in triangles. But just where you have voided space.
Okay.
Where there's not another one of the big flowers like the roses or the lilies.
So that really kind of isn't right?
And yeah, you'll need to cut it a little bit and then put it
Sink
in.
it down
But
more.
it is a good spot.
Okay.
Where are you gonna put that one?
Over here? No, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. So outways or more up?
Where it comes out like here-ish, yeah.
That is too long.
I was gonna tell you that, but you figured it out on your own. Perfect. Yep.
Okay.
Right there. Okay, so the next one we're gonna do is just daisies.
Okay.
With these, we're gonna again find kind of like your space. Yeah, you'll put flowers in and then be like, oh, now there's another spot that needs something.
Okay.
So mine here, and then kind of one on each side ish, a little.
So maybe
Yeah, something
in this-
something there. Yeah. And these are gonna be kind of like the leather, so we're gonna cut them where you can use them in 2 parts.
okay. So like here.
Yes. And then even on mine, I don't love to use them whenever they're in bunches of more than about like 3 or 4.
Okay.
Mine has 5, so I'm actually gonna cut one of these little pieces off, and I might use it later, might not. But just pushing them down in there in those little, it does become a little bit more difficult as you go along with just stem space, and like I just broke mine, so gonna try again. It happens.
So can we convince them open too, or should we leave them closed?
We can't. We have to leave these
Okay.
ones closed. They'll open up pretty fast, though.
Okay.
Carnations take a while. They last a long time. Daisies do too, but carnations last quite a while. So they just take a while to open up. So where I broke it, I'm going to cut above it, and then I can still use these 2, and then I can cut this one
Okay.
and still use that one. I just can't go tall with them, which I wasn't going to in the first place, so it works out for me. Yeah, and then just scatter the other ones just kind of around. The arrangement. I have a few on this stem that you can cut apart separately and just kind of dot them in and out. Okay, don't need that one. Don't need that one. There we go.
Okay.
Perfect. We don't even need these. We'll save them and just in case at the end. Okay, so then we're gonna use blue thistle, which is a little pokey, so beware. And all of these little branches with this arrangement, we can cut all of these off and use them all individually.
Okay.
And they're actually a pretty good length. And then we can use the center one too if you have a center one.
This one down here?
So like this one right here. So you'll cut this piece off, and then you can use
gotcha.
this piece all as just one piece. And then you're gonna kind of do the same thing as the daisies. There just won't be groupings of them. You can put 2 together somewhere if you want, but they're just gonna kind of be like your filler flower. So usually we have some sort of little filler that just kind of goes everywhere in between all the holes.
Okay.
Sometimes like super far in, some sticking out a little bit more. Could put that one together in like a little 2 cluster. And this one is crazy looking. So this one, if you need a few more, we can actually use these like this, because these are too short to use. So these will all be in one little grouping, like the daisies actually, which hardly ever happens. Thistle's usually like much like the very first piece we used, and not like this very often. But it's fun when it is. I think I need one more right over here, and then I'm complete. Okay, and then the last thing you're gonna do is just look down at the base of your arrangement and twirl it around and just make sure that there's no green showing, no like flowers in all the little grooves, and if not, then that we can use some of these to kind of, like I have one little piece right here where there's like a bunch of foam showing, so we can put a little piece down there. But it looks great. How do you feel about it now?
Better. Mine doesn't look like yours, but
none of them ever will look the same. Like I make 3 arrangements, and it's very hard to make them all even look remotely the same, just because flowers are completely different.
So how long do we think this will last?
We always guarantee 5 days, or say 5 days. Usually 5 to 7, depending on, or longer. It really depends on where you keep it in your house, how much you water it. There's just a lot of factors that play into it. How hot or cold your house is. Flowers like to be colder. So if your house is pretty warm, if it's in direct sunlight, or if it gets sun throughout the day, then they won't last as long. So
I used to hear, I think it was my mom, I can't remember, they used to put Sprite in their plants.
Yes,
Is that a thing?
We've tried pretty much everything.
Is it what the sugar? They're thinking the sugar gives it energy. Like, what is the?
I'm not 100% sure what it is, but we have tried like that. There's people that say put like Tylenol or that.
Okay.
I don't know. If you want to try it out, be my guest.
We're not gonna hurt.
We don't do that. No, we do dip the flowers. Some of the like roses, hydrangeas, the more delicate flowers, we dip them in like this solution as soon as we get them before we put them in the cooler, and it does help them last a little bit longer. It's like it's kind of like when you put that stuff in the water that makes you like drink, like electrolytes of. It's like that for flowers pretty much. It just hydrates them a lot quicker.
All right.
So, yeah.
So we can definitely tell the difference between yours and mine. You're a pro, but this is not too bad.
It's not. It looks super cute.
But you will definitely want to make sure to follow the Facebook page for the Flower Shop at 76067, because Lexis offers all kinds of fun classes, and they're perfect for a girls' night out or a date night, or if you just need a chance to express your creative side. The links for the Flower Shop and for Calla the Flower Shop dog will be in the description.